come to kick it? Or is it all just in your head? No, I was right the first time. The Dear God released an alpha build of its Ouya release this past week. The game looks good and runs fairly well considering that the Ouya is running off 2-3 year old technology. Also, you may remember a few months ago I was discussing The Letter as developer Treefall Studios, and I mentioned at the end he was seeking funding for his new project Maze on Indiegogo. Well, the project only raised $200 of its $4,500 goal. So, what does that mean? Is he going to work with what he has? Nope! Because he put up a second round of funding, this time asking for $3,500. Because, hey, maybe he was just asking too much. But may I remind everyone, this guy, yeah, it's only just one guy, is using flexible funding, which means on Indiegogo, regardless of whether or not he reaches the goal, he still gets all the money. So, technically, he could make round 3, 4, hell, even round 10, until he finally has enough to make his version of a Microsoft 95 screensaver. Dude, I get it. You want to develop for the Wii U, and I applaud your initiative. But maybe you should spend more time developing some games on your own dime and in your own time before making pictures for money here. And really, your last round only brought in $200. I think the people are trying to tell you something. And lastly, Mighty No. 9 released a trailer for some potential DLC. The teaser hinted at a Mighty No. 0. And yes, it's exactly what you think it is. Zombie meets Pikmin. That's Raise the Dead's alpha in a nutshell. It begins with Lightning bringing Ray back from the dead and using his powers to raise other members of the dead and killing people and bring them back as zombies. As you get more and more zombies following you, you can order them to more places like hiding in bushes and attacking passers-by or going for a more direct assault. We also get zombie dogs who attack faster but only stun enemies. There's also a part where you have a zombie dog attack a demon cat with your zombie army, and there's also another part where you and your friends pretend you're just in costume so you don't arouse suspicion on Halloween. It's interesting, I'll give you that. Not to mention there are human dogs who can talk to you apparently and will expose you if they smell you. But anyway, this alpha is actually just their demo from E3, so naturally a lot more work has gone into it since then. But the game looks fun and the controls work fairly well. That's, and the voices are hilarious. When Irrational Games downsized earlier this year, it saw a lot of people no longer with a job. So many of them went out and started the next chapter of their careers. One of those groups was Day for Night Games, consisting of many members of former Irrational staff, like Chad King and Joe Felder, and they are on Kickstarter right now with their new project, The Black Glove.
Ah, I see. Another creative type. Hazel said you were due in. Welcome to the Equinox. Well, go on. Do drop in. Everyone's waiting.
Set in a 1920s club called the Equinox, you witness three creators: the artist, the filmmaker, and the musical act. As the brand new curator to the Equinox, your mission is to bring the Equinox back to its former glory and to help these creators reach their full potential. How? By going into their past with the help of a glove and 1980s coin-op arcade machine. Well, of course! It's really hard to actually explain this game. I mean, I applaud their originality, and that's what Kickstarter is all about. But I know this sounds weird, but this game may be too original for Kickstarter. With less than 20 days to go, they've only raised $90,000 of its $550,000 goal. And it's a bit of a shame, really. I mean, this game does look pretty damn good. I think they're using Unreal Engine 4, and of course, the design does have a bit of resemblance to the creative style of BioShock. I mean, this is really focusing on, like, some kind of story similar to BioShock, which is good. I'm not noticing any, guns or plasmids or whatever the hell they use, but hey, you know what? There are some people who love BioShock for their story, so who knows? All I can say is, I wish the Black Glove a lot of luck. Following the commercial failure of his previous game, Matt Gilgenbeck was diagnosed with depression and OCD, and instead of wallowing in it, Matt decided to make a game about his personal experiences by heading to Kickstarter and receiving over $100,000 to create Neverending Nightmares on both PC and Ouya. So as the game begins, you're met with a pretty troubling scene before you wake up. The man you're playing as is Thomas, who seems to wake up from one dream only to find himself in another. And every time you wake up, things only get more and more bizarre. Yeah, like that. The hand-drawn artwork, which seems to be taking influence from the late Edward Gorey, looks really original and mixed with small bits of colour which are meant to represent objects you can interact with. The gameplay itself is very basic, with it really only being a puzzle game. The controls are just move and action. You can also run by holding down a shoulder button, but it seems that this guy suffers from serious asthma, especially growing up, as his stamina drains in like a few seconds. The game actually features a few different endings, and you can select what level to replay in hopes of finding another path. But the game is still only a few hours long. However, it is something very different to play. You can get Neverending Nightmares by the link below. Now, you may notice I am playing this game on Ouya. Now, if you're a long-time viewer of my stuff, you would know my issue, my big one, with capturing Ouya with my Ava Media Live Gamer Portable. But all those issues are over with this. Ladies and gentlemen, I give to you the Harpog HD PVR Rocket, a device much similar to the Ava Media. You can capture without the need of a PC by using the USB port, and it captures component as well as composite. And this device, yes, can capture Ouya footage in 1080p. Very nice. Well, folks, that's it for another episode of Kick It. And I'm sad to say this may very well be the last episode for the year. See, I'm working right now on both my Bayonetta 2 review and November, which has been reserved for Saturn month. And afterwards is the review of Smash Bros. For Wii U and 3DS. So, if this is the last ep for the year, thank you for all the amazing support. When I started this side project, I never would have imagined how big of a deal it would have become. I especially want to thank Screw Attack for all their support. So, everyone, thank you, and I'll see you again next time. this is kind of awkward, but I need to do this. This is really rushed, this part. Now, if you're not aware, I film Kick-It on weekends and post a video on Thursdays. So, in some cases, there's maybe one or two things that might come up during that time that I will save for the next episode. But this, this needs to be done now. I'm filming this right now at 7:30 in the evening on Monday. I'm exhausted. I've had a long day at work, and hours after we filmed the episode on Saturday, I think, yeah, I came across this campaign. If you can't see it, this is a brand new Indiegogo campaign I launched October 15th. And I'm not shitting you, the title of this campaign is We Want Half-Life 3. This is a campaign being run by 2 interns from a major advertising company in the US. And they are asking for, I shit you not, $150,000 with flexible funding, of course, for, and this is to bring the community together to tell Valve that we want Half-Life 3. This is their attempt in hoping that Valve will release Half-Life 3 just that little earlier. Okay. I've, laughed at a few Kickstarter campaigns. I mocked the potato salad. I laughed at Night Trap revamped. But this has got to be the most stupid and most pointless campaign I have ever seen in my life. This is... Okay. Because they're doing flexible funding, okay, they're building, they have certain, tiers, okay, depending on how much money they make, alright? They're asking for $150,000, alright? So, $3,000, they create an AdWord campaign. An AdWord campaign to tell people, we want Half-Life 3. All over Google. Yeah. Yeah, because that's gonna work. That's really gonna work. $9,000, they hire a mobile billboard to circle all around Bellevue, Washington, particularly at the Valve HQ. They're going to circle it all around Valve HQ. Yeah, okay, and this is the real kicker. $45,000, they get a bunch of Gabe Newell lookalikes and have them around Valve HQ with We Want Half-Life 3 t-shirts. and this is for $150,000. They host a concert, an epic Half-Life 3 concert in Seattle with the hopes of Valve employees like, Gabe Newell showing up. You're working for an advertising campaign, you're asking for $150,000 to do nothing! Okay. It's very clear. I love Valve. I fucking love Half-Life. Half-Life is one of the games that got me back into gaming back when I was in college. Alright? Half-Life 2, Portal, good God, I play those games and love them. But this will not work. Alright? Let's just remind people of something. Valve is an independent developer and self-publisher. These guys rack in millions, billions even, every single year. Not just from their own games, but of course through Steam. Alright? And because Valve doesn't need to answer to a publisher, they don't need to meet milestones. Now, this is not bloody rocket science. You just need to go back through history. From their very first game, Valve take their time. Now, I'm going to say this right now. I want Half-Life 3 more than anyone else. But the thing that frustrates me isn't that it's not out, is that they have shown nothing. Now, I completely understand. Gabe Newell has actually said numerous times, in fact, if I remember this video where he's actually making a crowbar and some guy says, hey, when's that going to be done? He just says, you know, these things, they take time. And it's true. You wouldn't ask Miyamoto to hurry up and finish the next Zelda. No one's going to start a campaign in Hero, Japan of mobile billboards and Nomura and Miyamoto lookalikes asking that the next Zelda for Wii U gets released next month, because we know that those games take time. Nintendo and Valve are pretty similar in a few ways. Look, Half-Life 3 is being made. We're not debating that. Half-Life 3 is being made. They haven't got it on the shelf. They are working their ass off. Now, I would admit, I would like to see something. Hell, 30-second concept video of the new Source engine if they're making it. Just something. Anything. But this, the best that this is going to do, $150,000, is have Gabe come out of Valve HQ and just be Gabe. Say something cryptic, or just say, wow, you could have put that money to good use. Seriously. This goes out to, let me get the names, to Chris Salem and Carl Mazzei. I think that's how you pronounce those names. This is pointless. Alright? Half-Life 3 will come out when it's good and ready. Not like Duke Nukem when it's done. They're working on it. And I can guarantee you it will be finished when it's finished. Oh, God, I'm losing my mind. This is insane. Alright? This is not about a game. This is just, you know, I can't, why don't you do something about Team Fortress 3 or Portal 3 or God, or Ricochet 2? There, we want Ricochet. Oh, God, my head hurts now. I am. Half-Life 3 will come out when it's ready. Not a minute earlier. Alright? I would ask that Valve give us something. Just, you know, just to assure us. Alright? Or at least assure me. Alright? But I know they are working on it. And it will come out when it's done. Not when these two pricks want it. Just that little shootout, yeah. The way they make it look, sound like it, released just that little bit earlier, yeah. Because we all know Valve have finished Half-Life 3 and it's locked in a safe somewhere until we've earned it. Please, they are working on it. And no rock concert or any amount of Gabe Newell lookalikes is going to make it happen any faster. Now I am gonna sign off because this is driving me nuts and I've got Bayonetta 2 and Sandmonth reviews to finish. Well, see you later.
Hey, is that about ready? These things, they take time.